What's happening, people? Welcome to the channel. Thought to myself, you know what? Have a nice Friday. Enjoy my time. Night off, I said to myself. And then I see this shit, man. Jim Radcliffe closing in on Man United Takeover. I genuinely don't know what to feel right now. Why can't we just have something good? Why is it constant misery with Man United? Like, seriously, what is this constant misery? What is this feeling that all of a sudden Jim Ratcliffe is now going to be the preferred bidder? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, this Qatari brother, where are you, bro? Like, what's going on, man? Like, for me, Jim Ratcliffe comes to this football club, we're set back even flipping further, man. You heard what the Nice fan said. This guy is serious, man. He's coming into this football club in bed with the Glazers and says, you know what? To get in this deal, I want to come in, but you know what? You can come in with me. Are you flipping out your mind? Are you seriously out of your mind, mate? You think you just come to this football club and get in bed with the Glazers? Seriously, man. I'm Jim Ratcliffe out before he's even stepped in. Are you mad? I'm Jim Ratcliffe out before he's even stepped in, my brother. You know what? Let's bring the people in. Tom, Rhino, what are you saying?
Listen, when I saw your message, yeah, I was just, like when all of a sudden your day just changes. Like the music you played at the start, perfect. Just that sad, lonely walk down that quiet street, like reflected on life. I don't know, man. I haven't really even read into it too tough, so you might have to fill me in, but bro.
Apparently, it's breaking news. I know.
Yeah,
I
go
kind
on.
of heard that before me and Tom were speaking. But the
Yeah.
news that was breaking originally was Jim Ratcliffe closing in on Man United Takeover, latest on long-running saga. That was with the first news that we heard. But apparently, people are saying that Sheikh Jassim now is coming in with an 11th hour bid. Bro, this is tiring, man. But let's see what this is going on right now. Bro, keep me up to date, people. What the flip is going on? Sheikh Jassim is weighing up an 11th hour bid for Man United with Jim Ratcliffe currently in front. Tom, talk to us, man, because you're the only guy that can talk sense up with all of this, man. I don't believe anyone apart from Tom. Like, generally, Tom, chat to us. What's the latest now? Is Jim Ratcliffe, is he front runner? What's going on, man? What's going on? Chat to us, man. And Turkish, get the flip out of it now. Go and chill, relax. It's your night off. Get the heck out of this chat. Love it.
No, in terms of the update that people, might want to hear, might not want to hear at the end of the day, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been chosen by the Glazer family. They have looked over all the offers from last week. They took the weekend through the portion of the week that we have been through all the way up until late last night of yesterday to state that they had made a decision on Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who they want to put as preferred bidder. The way that the process has gone on, they have looked over all the offers from the third round. They've looked at the different proposals. They know what Sheikh Yassim's proposal was. It was a full buyout. All 6 siblings were to be bought out for what he totaled up to 100% of the club. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe has done a proposal for 69%, which is a lot lower of the valuation. He's then done an offer at 50%, and to keep 2 of the Glazer family in the building, if you like, but they don't have control of the club. They've looked at Sir Jim Ratcliffe's offer for his second proposal, which is 50%, keep Jordan Avram in at 20% as minority stakeholders, with or without control, and try and negotiate the terms of the Class B shares to Class A shares over the coming days, weeks, and for whatever it is. But the point that we're at now is Sir Jim Ratcliffe's name is on the ballot sheet to be announced as preferred bidder within the coming days. However,
so how long has he got? He's basically got this. So what we're saying here now, he's got basically over the weekend to kind of make up a bid, basically.
So what has happened now is in the last 2 hours, Sheikh Yassim's delegation, the Qatari delegation, have been contacted by the Rain Group to state that you are not on the preferred bidder's sheet, but you can bid your way onto it, essentially. The offer that you made was not in line with what we was constructive with other bidders in the process, and the Glazer family have selected upon said bidder, which is Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So Sheikh Yassim's group have been stated that you ain't the preferred bidder as it stands, but it's private that you ain't the preferred bidder. It will become common knowledge and it will become public in the coming days. But we're offering you one last chance and one final bid. And as people call it, the 11th hour bid, whatever you want to call it, midnight bid, like, call it whatever you want, deal or no deal. Like,
deal or no deal, basically.
The way that Sheikh Yassim now has is you have the chance to have one more bid, but you have to improve your bid from what you have made from the third round of bids. And if you don't improve it upon a certain figure that would interest the Glazer family, you're not in the process anymore, and you're done.
The cheek, though, man. This is mad.
As we said before, though, with the Sheikh Yassin thing, if he doesn't get selected as preferred bidder, there's nothing stopping him going around the houses and cutting off the Ring Group completely and contacting Joel and Avram directly. And I'll do a deal with you privately, and I'll offer you this terms and negotiate with you privately outside of the process. So Jim tried to do it with Chelsea, and he tried to buy Chelsea out of the process, did he not? He wasn't successful in doing so, but Man United, there's no timescale on when this club can be sold. It can be sold tomorrow, next year, next month. Like, it don't matter. But the point and the process that we're at is Sir Jim is selected as preferred bidder on the balance sheet privately as it stands now. But the Qataris have one last chance if they want to up their offer and improve upon it to then interest the Glazer family in changing who's on the ballot sheet, which as an offer, listen, it could take a couple more days to look over it and then decide upon changing or sticking or twisting, whatever you want to do. But the minds have, if you like, spoken from Joel and Avram as to we want to stay in some capacity. So the Qataris have to give them more money than what they have to change their minds. So if you like, as I said before, Joel and Avram were the two who controlled what happens right now. They've spoken. And they've stated it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe that we want right now. But
until they do something about it.
Unless the Qataris want to come and put more money down and do something about it and change our minds, then we're going with Sir Jim. And the proposal for 50%, we stay in, and our other 4 siblings are getting bought out. That will be the process, and that's how it would be done. You negotiate the terms of the shares from Class B to Class A so that Sir Jim has control. From there on, Sir Jim's the controlling owner with 50% of Man United, and Ineos are backing the total takeover of Manchester United. That's how it works. So at this point, he's preferred bidder. Qataris, they have 48 hours, so they have until Monday to either come up with a new offer or you're out of the process and you're done.
Yeah. I mean, Faz, you're here. Faz, what you saying, man? You good, bro?
This is heartbreaking. This is gut-wrenching. This is nightmare-esque. And this is a load of bollocks. That's what this is. We just got to say it as is. It's so surprising that it's a set type of crowd that wants Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Today, I got to just spill it as it is. It's a set type of crowd. This moral high ground bullshit that they want to do with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Like the royal family wasn't on madness. Like the royal family wasn't on madness. What is going on? We, Saeed, you, Rhino, Tom, all the people in the chat, we deserve better. We deserve more. Do you know the badge that we wear? Youth games get cancelled because of rain. The great Manchester United, the great Manchester United youth game gets cancelled because of rain. Let that sink in. What do you love? Do you love the first team or do you love Manchester United? What do you love? Do you not love do you like it, Saeed, when you're going for a piss in Old Trafford and you have to stand on piss? When you go into the toilet,
I don't go near it. I don't go near it, mate. I don't go near that area. So I hold my piss in. That's how bad it is, man. I hold it in.
Come on. It's look, the fact that Ratcliffe wants to be in bed with Glazers is sickening.
Yeah.
If you had any inkling what we, the fans, want, would you not know that we don't want the Glazers? So if you're a billionaire, Jim Ratcliffe, why don't you go and get a consortium and put up the 6 billion? Why don't you?
Exactly.
Why don't you go and get a consortium and make a 5 billion bid? Why don't you? The fact is, you don't have enough money. That's why you only want a certain percentage to get yourselves in. And when the club starts making some profit or whatever, you can then look to own the rest of the shares. You ain't got the peas to buy the full club. Let's call a spade a spade. Jim
This is what
Ratcliffe
he's
ain't
done.
got the
This is his
peas.
tactic. Faz, this is the tactic that he's done.
And now there's a second side, there's a flip side to all of this. I have a feeling that the Glazers and the way Jim Ratcliffe is licking the Glazers, I feel like this is a ploy to get Qataris to bid more. I don't think Jim Ratcliffe is a serious candidate. I don't think he has been ever. Why would you allow the Qataris an 11th hour bid if you want the club?
But that's
If
what I'm
me-
saying to you. This whole
if
idea, though, the deadline was bullshit. It's
If
bullshit,
me,
man.
if Saeed is selling something and me and Rhino are in business and Tom is in business, and if I say I want to own the full thing, and Rhino says he wants part, would you, if you're willing to sell it to Rhino, why would you allow me time to bid? I don't understand. Where's your head at? What do you want? Do you want a full sale or do you want a part sale? Deep down, I believe, and I think people are not stupid. The people in the comments are not stupid. I think they know this as well, that the Glazers actually want a full sale, but they are playing a game to get Qatari to pay more. That's what they're doing. Because if they sell Man United at 5.56 billion, it will be the biggest life-changing, game-changing, sports-changing transaction probably ever. Ever. That's what they
It's
want.
true.
It'll change the Glazers' lives.
Rhino, what you say, man? Obviously, you're hearing what's going on now.
And sorry, just another thing, Rhino,
Yeah, go
brother,
on.
before you go, the
Yeah.
Qataris are not mugs. Let that sink. They're not mugs. They don't do idiotic business. Middle East, Newcastle, cheap. Middle East, City, cheap. Middle East, PSG, cheap. Every single organization Middle East own, whether they have won trophies, not trophies, they do good business, ladies and gentlemen. They are known to do good business. Middle East are known to do. PSG haven't only bought superstars, they bought Hakimi, a great player at a great price. They brought Nuno Mensch. They had Javi Simmons. They had freaking Mendes. They have Donnarumma on free. They bought numerous players at very good business. Newcastle, Isaac, good business. They didn't go crazy on players. Man City, Haaland, transfer, clause triggered, good business. Alvarez, good business. Always good business. That's what Middle East do. Tell me one thing that Mr. Jim Ratcliffe has done in the world of football that is good business. One thing, please. I'll wait.
Listen, man, he's bullshit anyway. He's full of lies, man. Listen, I'm Jim Ratcliffe out before he stepped in the club, man. I couldn't care less, mate. Listen, man, any United fan not supporting this, by the way, I don't know, man. You get me? Like, if you're supporting Jim Ratcliffe, well, he's allowing the Glazers to stay. Obviously, that could be an option for him. But if he is, then listen, mate. I don't know about you, mate. I don't know about you, and I'm looking at you right now. If that's what you're about, then that's on you, innit? But we're set back even further, mate. There's no guarantee that they leave after a couple of years. We don't know the situation.
Yeah, that's correct. Because
You're allowing that to happen. You're
That's
allowing that kind of risk. That risk shouldn't be there in the first place.
There is a clause that if one of the parties trigger, then they can discuss about Glazers leaving. It's not like the Glazers will leave in 3 years, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. No, there is a clause. One of the parties have to trigger it, and then the other has to agree, which will allow the Glazers to maybe leave. So let that sink in as well.
Big up to Alien Telesales, F the Radcliffe and the Glazers. I hate them. And big up to RG says only rivals want to Jim. They should say that should say it all. Exactly, man. You know what I mean? Rhino, that's facts, innit? The rivals
Yeah.
want it. They know, man. They know Qatar is coming.
The
Yeah, it's
fair,
game
the
over,
fair's
people.
in the fair's there. Because think about it like this: if we get the Qataris in with that kind of financial backing and Ten Hag's know-how into the players he wants and building into that system that he's trying to, deploy with Manchester United, it's game over. And we can probably even start catching up to the Man Cities and Liverpools and stuff in hindsight in the next few years. You never know. But this whole news, I don't know. I'm with Faz. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. What if it's a kind of play? Because they should know what they want, no? If they want a part sell, they want a part sell. If they want a full sell, they want a full sell. So the fact that they're still playing both lines is a bit fishy to me. But for us, it's long-winded, man. We're just sitting here. 1 minute we hear this, 1 minute we hear that. We don't know what's going on, man. It's quite frustrating. So, yeah, I just hope all we can do is wait, But this news is not good, man. Because what is he coming for? I don't get it. I just don't get what his aim is. Does he just want to be tied to the club? And I don't get it. Does he have a plan? Like, what is going on? He don't have money, so what is he coming to do? Like, it don't make sense, man. Don't make sense, bros. But yeah, I think rivals are scared, man. They're scared, man. You lot be scared. Trust me. I hope you guys wish that we'll get Jim Ratcliffe and it's like a jinx and then boom, surprise, Qatar's in, But boy, I don't know, man.
Tom, it says here not over the weekend. We won't hear anything likely over the weekend. I think Matt Keegan's doing that. Mike Keegan's always reporting that. I mean, it just begs the question, isn't it? When is this ending? Like, obviously, Monday you're thinking, Tuesday. But are you confident they'll put in another bid that will be more than suffice? Is that the last one now, or so Jim puts in another situation another clanger in there?
No,
it's never ended, is it though?
No, because Sir Jim doesn't have anywhere else to wiggle into. What does he have left to leverage? He doesn't have the financials to leverage because he's had to make a proposal to only buy half. So we know he doesn't have the money to add anything on. He can't he's done all that he can do. He's made a proposal which benefits him but also means that he has to keep two of the others in. So what really does Sir Jim have left that he could fire back at? He doesn't. The Qataris, we know what they have to fire back. They have the money to fire back. They have the money to pay £6 billion if they wanted to. But you're not going to pay £6 billion for something if you don't think it's worth that. I do something. A lot of people, if the Qataris didn't get hold of Manchester United, a lot of people will say, well, why don't they just drop £6 billion? How would you feel if you're having to pay nearly £2.5 billion over the worth of what something actually says it's worth?
Tom,
regardless of if you've got stacks of cash or not.
Tom, my brother, how much is a can of Coke?
Well,
how much?
Close to a pound now.
Close to a pound, yeah. Price is going up.
So if I ask you to pay £2, are you going to pay it? Are you an idiot? If I ask you to pay £3, are you going to pay it?
No.
Unless
you're desperate.
No. Yeah, it's desperation. But the thing with the Qataris, like I've just said, is they have the money where they can go back in again if they want to. And I would be personally shocked that Sheikh Yassim, even if he's being backed by the state or whatever, I would be very shocked if he doesn't come this far to then think, do you know what, I'm going to go in again. Why not? What have you got to lose? You can put another offer in if it's close to it, if it's over what they want, if it's near to what they want. If they want to go all in, they can go all in. They have the finances to do it. Whereas to Jim, he don't have that. And that's why what I think Faz said before, where it made a lot of sense in terms of, well, we know Sir Jim don't have the money to buy it all. We know he's run out of, if you like, knowledge to come up with another solution because this is his solution, a backup proposal. The Qataris now, this is what I say in terms of it ain't over. And it ain't over until it's over because until Sir Jim Ratcliffe is announced via the Rain Group that he's preferred bidder to buy Manchester United Football Club, as you legally have to state, until you do that, you ain't got nothing. Because it's a gentleman's agreement, really, if we're being honest. Sir Jim's been told that he's preferred bidder for now, but he's been told that we're going to the Qataris to give them one last chance. And if it was the other way around and Qatar was chosen as preferred bidder, they'd be doing the same to Sir Jim. Do you want to come in again? Have you got more money to root around in? But he don't. So in terms of the resolve, this weekend for the Qataris, They ain't sleeping. They ain't.
Yeah, no, they can't sleep, mate.
They're running around doing their own thing. Let's be honest, mate. They're getting something cooked up because they wouldn't. I don't believe personally, anyway. Why would you come this far to lose out to, as a lot of people notify Sir Jim has been, a broke billionaire? You wouldn't come this far to get outdone by what's a man from Manchester who writ a love story to Man United fans. Like, we writ everything that we're gonna do.
It's bullshit, man. That love story.
The thing is, Saeed, and I think the thing with the Qataris is, even with everything that they've offered in terms of just buying it, they have the money to do stuff with this club afterwards. So they can take the money out of what they would do afterwards just to get it now. And then they can replenish what they was going to use after when they regenerate funds. So it's not a case of they don't have the money to do it there and sit there with it. At the end of the day, money talks. And mate, you go there, you put them an extra dollar on the table, mate. They'll look at you and think, oh, an extra $1? Like Faz was saying about a can of Coke. What? Oh, right. We're interested now. You're putting more money on the table. Absolutely. Yeah. We'll welcome you in. And that's why I said to you many times, Saeed, you could never rule out someone like an Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos, because the next day they could wake up and think, well, let's go buy Man United. It's no problem. I've got £6 billion sitting there. Like, I can, notify banks. I want a couple of loans, this, that, the other, finance to buy Manchester United Football Club. You can do it. That's the thing. And Sheikh Yassim can wake up tomorrow and think, you know what, bollocks to it. What's all the fuss about? Let me just drop $6 billion.
Yeah, that's true. I think ultimately, like I said to you, you know what I mean? It's a game of chess, isn't it? This is the longest game of chess. Like, this is why I don't play chess, you man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is chess, man.
It's more like poker, though, isn't it? You've cards on the table. Poker. Who's winning? Who's got the highest number? Like,
who's got the highest number? And this questionnaire, Debbie Lee, bro, I'm tired of protests, man. Protests ain't gonna do shit, man. This is just at the top, man. You know what I'm saying to you? Like I said, I don't believe if Jim Radcliffe comes in, the United fans will have that to say, right, we don't want this guy. I don't believe it, because they're putting out banners saying no to Qatar. You know what I mean? So maybe this is what you kind of get in it. Like, if you don't want the Qatars in it, then that's up to you, in it. If you want to go back to being a proper football club and actually competing at this level, you go and get the Qataris. You don't get it with Jim Ratcliffe. You simply don't. He ain't got the facilities for this job. He hasn't. The Qataris have. So, end of the day, anyone that's wanted Jim Ratcliffe, give me a basis of why he's a better owner than the Qataris. You tell me. Give me a reason.
Yeah.
Give me a reason, but they don't. Oh, he's a Man United fan. Listen, I couldn't give two shits, mate. How about that? Couldn't give two shits. You feel me?
The United fan is a Chelsea season
having proper
ticket.
People.
Chelsea season ticket keeps the Glazers in. Like,
I see some comments as well. Someone saying, "Oh, we've spent billions and got nowhere." Listen, Ten Hag is a different kind of manager. It's a different kind of manager. It's a different plan. So you have to take that into consideration, people, man. Come on, man.
Big up that knowledge, Anthony, with the super chat. Faz took my point, lol. I honestly believe Sir Jim. I believe Sir Jim ever placed a bid. He went Old Trafford and met the Glazers October 2022. They told him they won't sell. 3 months later, announced they want to sell. Listen, I don't know. Inside job, I don't know. To kind of get a little deal after, Faz, I don't know.
But you know me. I love a conspiracy theory, because as much as, we're average civilians, with no disrespect, these guys are not average civilians. They're billionaires. Their business is not like going to a shop and buying something or going to a dealership and buying a car. This is different level of transaction. We're talking billions and billions of pounds. This could be possibility. I'm telling you, we've heard crazier stories in the stock market. This could be a possibility, because how on earth, if you want to sell to this guy, why would you let me bid? It don't make sense. Why would you give me time to bid? Make it make sense in just general business.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. That don't make sense. Yeah, you're right.
Why am I hearing 11th hour bid? So technically, you don't even respect my man here. You just want the most money. That's all you want. So you're just wanting to do a bit of, in all honesty, prostitute, and that's what this is. This is prostitute behavior. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I got to say as it is. It's prostitute behavior. Trying to get the most money from whoever offers and going and shaking your ass for them. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I am
Well,
telling
of
you.
course.
Listen, do you think Sheikh Jassim will go back to Qatar with his head held high, knowing that he lost to some random guy from Manchester that we've never met before? Don't forget, Sheikh Jassim had to get the blessing of his seniors. That's how it worked. That's how it worked. Sheikh Jassim had to get blessings of the guys who own PSG and stuff like that, those senior heads. So do you think he's been sent to Manchester to go back empty-handed? No, he hasn't. The Middle Easterns don't do business like this. If they point a finger at something, they will own it by any means necessary. And I still have faith.
Nate H says the Premier League needs to step in here. This is corruption at the highest level and has no intention of doing what's best for the football club. Listen, if the Premier League, it makes sense for the Premier League in terms of money, they'll do whatever they can, man. You know what I mean? I don't think that's something that, to be honest with you, I really care about at the minute. But I think for me, Tom, for me, I'm just looking at the time sequence now. Every hour is key now. You know how you know every hour is key. Every hour is key now. You know, this has come out today out of nowhere, really. It's on a Friday again. I don't know. It's a bit unusual. Fridays, isn't it? Fridays, we're hearing news. Like, I don't know. The stock market's gone up. Has something happened? You know what I mean? Friday, you know what I mean, bro? What's going on here, man? Tom.
Yeah. Well, like we've said with the timescales, and as everybody's always like said and everything, I've reiterated it many times, that the deadlines, they weren't a hard deadline. It wasn't as simple as we'll shut the door, that's it, we'll wash the hands with anybody else who wants to make an offer. It's never been like that. It's a deadline, put your bid in before then, and we'll listen to it. But if somebody was to make an offer after that deadline, like, there's nothing stopping them. And the Glazer family, anyway, if they weren't, how can I say, if they weren't open to the idea of selling Manchester United, why have you kept these people in for this long? Why? Like, you would have known Sir Jim before the second round of bids, when you actually met him in person with his representatives. You would have known that he doesn't have the cash to buy it all. So if you've dragged this out, why did you not just choose Sir Jim then? Because that's all that he could offer at that time. You knew all that he could offer. What was he going to do in the third round of bids? What, suddenly he's going to wake up and he's won the lottery? Oh, like, yeah, I can add a couple more millions on, like, I'm already a billionaire, like, but it doesn't matter. But he's got nothing, and this is what I mean with Sir Jim. He don't have no else to give. He don't have the money to give, and he don't have any more proposals. He don't have any more plans, clauses, any BS like that. He don't have none of that. The only thing that he has now is this proposal. And that's why we've Sheikh Jassim anyway, in this case. If he pulled the plug on it all, I don't think a lot of people can blame him, to be honest with you. Me personally, anyway, I don't think a lot of people can blame him, because he put in a world record offer to buy Manchester United, which has to be more than £4.5 billion, because that's what it is valued at right now in terms of the most for a sporting club with the Denver Broncos, apart from the Washington Crusaders, which are going for, I think, £4.8 billion in the next couple of weeks. But aside from those things, if you want to call it, you can call it for whatever it is. But in terms of the preferred bidder status, Sir Jim can have his name on it, I've reiterated. But Sheikh Jassim can always wake up tomorrow and think, nah, I'm coming back in, sod it. Like, sod a lot of years, I'm coming back. Saeed could wake up tomorrow, he has billions of pounds in his account, somebody's done a bad bank transfer transaction or whatever, it's gone into Saeed's account instead of somebody else's. Saeed could make a last minute bid.
Saeed, don't forget me if that happens, man.
if you want to, though, like, you could do.
There's
nothing stopping you.
I'm just going to read Ben Jacobs has put something out here. It's a bit of a thread here. He says here, no preferred bidder for Man United is expected to be named until next week. Sources closest to Ineos are now cautiously optimistic, and the mood is described as positive. But Ineos are yet to receive a formal confirmation on anything or be placed in an exclusive period. And he follows on here. Sources maintain Radcliffe's valuation has been higher since round 2. His offer is flexible and for control. It would require finessing further should a deal be struck where Joel and Avram stay, but the pair would not retain Class B voting power. Sheikh Jassim's 92 Foundation do not see themselves out of the race. One advantage of no group being in an exclusive period today is either can still be can change their offer. Sources reiterate that 92 Foundation bid is lower than being paid, below 5 billion as previously reported, and inflated by pledged capital. Although this is firmly denied by those close to 92 Foundation, which call their offer competitive. There remains a chance 92 Foundation attempt to bypass the process and try to strike a deal directly with the Glazers. That we heard last week, but there are doubts whether an entity currently exists to complete a deal right now. 92 Foundation have shown proof of funds, but their vehicle isn't ready in practical financial sense to acquire Man United. This is somewhat to be expected. They have been very much adopted a strike deal, then fund the vehicle approach. It's not typical, but it's adds some doubt. And neither group has been told anything definitive, but the signs are Radcliffe is ahead due to ultimately valuing the club higher and offering Joel and Avron a chance to stay for now, which a laddered exit path. A reminder, Radcliffe is bidding for control. That's non-negotiable. 92 Foundation could yet respond. They certainly haven't given up. Tell me more. But they haven't received any significant feedback yet either via Rain. Next week, a preferred bidder is expected to be named, putting an end to the competitive tension. Oh, the saga continues. Next week. My thing is, and you know what? That guy from Iceland was right. He goes, the communication has been laughable. You know what? Everybody, was it Iceland or was he from Finland? He was right, Everybody laughed at him, including Nuruddin. Everybody laughed at that guy. They said he ain't got no money. But he said the communication by Rain Group has been poor. And it's obviously, you can see right now.
Here's our Ralph Ragnick 2.0. Came in, did a little bit, and exposed some information, got off. Thank you very much.
Facts, 100%. Big up to Archie. Big up to my guy. He says, I also believe Glazers are putting this out to get Twitter engagement. They think that the engagement shows how valuable the club is. Although if Sir Jim won, they would have announced it a while ago. This is what I'm saying, Rhino, man. It's a catch-22, man. It's mad, isn't it, when you think about it? Like, it's mad.
What is this? These Glazers, I just don't know what they're on. Like, at the end of the day, they need to follow. It's time for them to go. I don't see how this partial business is going to work, man. And all these games, it's Glazeronomics. They don't tell us. They're never straight with us. We don't know what they want, bro. It's long, man.
Yeah, but the communication. We say next week, Tom.
Yeah.
But the communication, obviously, as follows, is we're not gonna know until next week. But it's all getting a bit comical, isn't it? When you look at it. People are saying everyone just calm down, things will be all right and whatnot. They will be, but not for the right reasons, maybe. And that's it. That's what a lot of people are kind of struggling to terms with, Tom, isn't it? Don't know if he's still there. Faz, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, but the line when you were speaking was crackling up a bit for me, anyways.
Okay, did you hear the main question though?
No, it was crackling up. Can you say it?
The communication I was talking about, and the fact for me that they're saying next week, but ultimately people are panicking because obviously they want the Qataris. Well, majority United fans don't do, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't understand the timing of these news coming out. Always like when stock market is closing. They have a bit of delay. Qatar news reporters say something about Qatar after Jim news reporters say something about Jim. It's a bit booky. It's a bit, funny. If I want to be part of a business and I want to remain, I am going to sell it to the person who can keep me in the business as a percentage holder.
Yeah.
Simple. I don't care who bids. It don't matter. Get off. I want to stay. So I'm going to stay. So Rhino's offered me a percentage, come through. Saeed wants a full sale. Sorry, Saeed, no can do. What is this prostitution? I don't understand. I swear, Rhino, you're laughing. But I gotta say, what is this prostitution? What do you want? Because at this point, I don't even know what they want. 11th hour bid. They extended the deadline, don't forget.
Yeah, all of that.
Deadline. In this idiot said we're looking at strategic alternative shegging. All of this stuff. All of this continues. Bro, you made your mind up. You know what you want to do. At one point they said we don't want to do anything. we're looking at partial investment. Remember? They said we're looking at partial investment. Abraham has sentiment over the club. All of this stuff. I really like it. By the way, it shows the level of incompetence of these prostitutes.
And that was after the Carabao Cup, I swear.
It
Where
shows
it's like
the
this
level of incompetence. They were, in all honesty, they were praying that maybe if Ten Hag fails, they'll sell and get off. But because Ten Hag getting them Champions League football, they're like, yo,
man.
Let's not let go of this.
It's going to make more money for them later on. They know what they're doing. And this Jim Ratcliffe is an absolute muppet. How could you not see that? How could you even want them being part of it? But again, for us, obviously, we're looking at him where we're absolutely destroying him. But for him, he's actually quite smart. You know, I know it's kind of mad, but himself, he's done it the sneaky way. Been a sneaky, slimy, absolute CUNT, mate. You know what I mean? Knowledge. Anthony says here, this man has no money for a full sale. How is he going to buy players, fix stadium? This is Glazers on steroids. I'm telling you, I am terrified. And Glazers will twerk for oil money, bro. You just gotta hope that, like I said to you, that final bid, Faz, is a final nail in the coffin, man. Because I don't think we've got time to wait anymore, man. You know what I mean? The season is fast approaching, man. We need to just kind of get this over done with. Like, if it's gonna happen, happen, and then we'll see what happens, isn't it?
Saeed, and comments as well, get in on this and let me know. Am I wrong in thinking if Ten Hag bottles top 4, God forbid, if we don't make top 4 and we don't win the FA Cup, Glazers are gonna want a full sale? The level of investment is too much for them.
So you're saying that they're waiting for this situation with the team?
Yeah, I have a feeling. I don't know why. Again, this is business. Billionaires take their time. They don't make a call overnight. You know, this is, like I said, this is not buying a Mercedes or a BMW. This is, you're buying billion-pound business. Maybe they're thinking, if we make Champions League, don't forget, Saeed, this season, our kit sponsor wanted to leave. We've been properly in a bad state.
Everything.
Our kit sponsor wanted to leave. Protest upon protest. Overspending on Anthony. Overspending on Martinez. Frankie de Jong messed up. Youth structure messed up. Women's football is barely just about now coming top of the league. You know, a lot of things went wrong this season. A lot of Ronaldo headache, wage headache, so much headache, right? I think they're feeling like if they can make top 4, they can bring back all of that marketing, you know, all of that. Obviously, they make 30 million. If you qualify for top 4, you get 30 million. They'll get that. And then all of those sponsors that were showing the middle finger to us, they'll be on their knees again because we're back in Champions League and we're Man United and Ten Hag is looking up. If we win the FA Cup, obviously it's even more. It's even more. So I have a feeling that they might, don't forget, Rain Group is advising them as well. Don't forget, they're advising them. So I think the advisors are telling Glazers, whatever's best for you is wait and see where Ten Hag finishes. Because based on that, you'll be able to demand whatever price or, you know, move your next chess piece. So I think that's all it is. That's why they delay. If they can get the Glazers to pay more before Champions League, then God is good. No? That's good for them. They'll get the money. But that's what they're doing. They're waiting out to see if Ten Hag can make top. I think if we end up securing top 4, I think they'll go with Jim Ratcliffe. I have a feeling.
Tom, you gotta come in then and say something then. What's your gist of what Faz says there? Does that make sense, or do you think the Glazers do they think differently?
Well, they think differently, don't they? Like, no, this is why I've said before, and I'll reiterate it as always. The offers that are being made, if they're going to buy, if Sir Jim's going to buy out the other 4 siblings, he has to pay probably in the region of about £3 to £3.5 billion just to buy 4 of them out. If you want to keep Joel and having him with 20%, that's fine. You can do that, no problems. They might retain, you know, up to a 1.5, you know, 1.5 or £2 billion worth of shares of Manchester United if they were to stay 20%. But Sir Jim, in this case, like people have reiterated it where they've made super chats about, if he didn't have enough money to buy the club, what's he going to do when he actually gets it? Well, nobody knows. This is the problem with Sir Jim. He's not been forthcoming. And this is why with Sir Jim's offer, I said he wrote a love story. He didn't write a plan, a project, a vision. He wrote a love story. I want to put Manchester back into Manchester United, and I'm a local lad, you know, Man United's my boyhood club and all this BS. But you can't state or have any proof. Like, so Jim, for example, he claims to have been at the 99 final. Where's the picture? Where's the proof? Like, nobody. I didn't see him there. No, my great grandfather who went to the final, he didn't see him there. Nobody probably even knew Sir Jim Ratcliffe were at that time. So you can take that for what you want. With Sheikh Yassim, at least what I can say with him is he's built a company offshore in the 92 Foundation, which has a genuine link because of the name to something historical about Manchester United. Because the 92 Foundation, everybody knows what that has a link to. And that's the class of 92 of Manchester United, one of the greatest generations of players that Man United ever brought through. So it has a genuine connection. It has a genuine link to Manchester United. What does Sir Jim Ratcliffe's link have? Oh, take my word for it. Take my word for it, guys. Well, we didn't have cameras back in the day. Sorry, you know, I couldn't take pictures. What's the BS going to be next? But the only thing that a lot of, I guess, skepticism about Sir Jim is he don't have the plan, but also is his age. Because you can say it for what it is like, and we're not here to speculate or anything, because listen, health and personal lives and things, that's for individual and that's for families. So we're not going to speculate and turn the fire on. But he's 70 years old. And when you think about his age, whenever he might want to build a new stadium or anything, a new stadium for Man United is going to take years to build. Even just a redevelopment is going to take years. That's why the difference between the two of them ain't that far-fetched. And the finances to do both of them, it actually costs, well, it's cheaper to build a new stadium than it is actually to redevelop one.
Yeah, especially that stadium. Especially our stadium.
Just because of the complications that you have around it with certain stands and the structures of them.
Yeah.
But the only thing anyway with Sir Jim in the case is, if he was to be 6 feet under, people will worry about, it's going to fall to his kids. It wouldn't actually fall to his kids because he's attached Ineos's name to the club. And it would go to Ineos as stakeholders and shareholders. And honestly, do you really think that there's going to be many of those that are Manchester United, you know, through and through, boyhood Man United fans, put the Manchester back into Manchester United? Like, I don't think so, mate. They ain't going to be saying any sort of Mancunian names or chants or anything like that, mate. Oui, croissant, like it's all French. we know these people, mate. Listen, there's more chance that they'll be Paris Saint-Germain, PS, you know, Paris fans. They'll be from, you know, Toulouse, wherever. They'll be from Marseille. They ain't gonna even. They might even know what Man United is, or Manchester even is as a city. So, for as much as people can say, be careful what you wish for. In this case now, where we are, Sir Jim has the better proposal. And we have to concede that he has done that. He has the better proposal.
Yeah, he has done that.
But he doesn't have the better funds on the table. Because what essentially it is Sir Jim has the better proposal to buy 4 out of the 6 out than Sheikh Yassim has to buy all of the 6 out.
Yeah.
That's what we're at this point in time. But if he wants to come in with this last 11th hour bid or whatever people want to call it, he can come out with £5.5 billion. He can come out with 6 billion. But is he willing to do that? Because he's already overpaying as it is now. So, and this is why when people say, you know, Qatar's undervalued Manchester United fans, and people who want to lay the blame at them if you want. How can you lay the blame at people? They're already overpaying just to bid. They've not even bought it yet. They're overpaying just even bidding right now. So would you seriously want to overpay for something that you don't believe is valued at that price? It's like when you go to buy an house. You don't buy as straight as soon as what somebody says what the price is. You negotiate. You get a better deal for yourself. The Qataris, mate, they have, you know, hundreds of billions of pounds of stockpile of cash behind them. That don't mean shite to them. But, and like I said to you anyway, Saeed, if Qatar and Sheikh Yassim weren't to get Man United, I don't believe him as an individual would go somewhere to another football club and try and buy them. But you'd have another Qatari come out who's backed by it, or you'd have somebody from the family who's, I don't know, the Spurs fan or something. Qatar have loads of investments in London. Like, it'd make sense to go for a club like that. Or you want to go for a structured model, go and try and buy FEC out at Liverpool or something. Like, stranger things have happened at the end of the day. But The only thing that, because it's like these cryptic accounts. Well, I call them cryptic accounts anyway. Like a Qatari journalist, like who works in an office for what?
Exactly. Look,
PR,
what's he trying to do though?
finance.
He goes
Like,
here. Whenever the news of Qatari takeover comes out, the Glazer game and Sir Jim Ratcliffe come out. Listen, man, you've been
I
telling
mean,
us.
this same account said Qatar will buy Man United on the 30th of March. So take it for what you will, guys. But that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
At the end
man.
of the day, the summary is this: he has the weekend to say if he wants to bid again or not. Improve your bid or get out. It's as simple as that. And if you don't improve the bid for what he believes for Manchester United, then Sir Jim Ratcliffe's the guy that they're going with. And they're going with his second optional proposal, 50%, keep Joel and Avi in, 20%, no control, but he's got to negotiate the terms of the control. And from there on. But like Faz was saying about with the sponsors, like Ineos, there's a shirt sponsor for you. Man United need a sponsor. There you go.
Yeah.
He use it with Nice. He can do it with Man United. Like,
yeah.
You've got a shit sponsor sorted. There's no law-abiding contract to say that you can't. You can do it if it's an offshore business. Jesus, like if Sheikh Yassin built the 9-2 Foundation up to be an actual company, you can have 9-2 Foundation put it on Man United shirts if you wanted. People say about Qatar Airways and all that. Like, if you can make up a business and build it up to be legit, why can't you have it as a shirt sponsor? All you're paying is just a subscription to be a sponsor, and then you're funding the business from that. So then Ineos would give Man United money. And then that's where you get, if you like, the revenue stream to then say, well, Ineos is going to fund Manchester United. But we know it's not.
But it's kind of deep, to put your company name on there, and then you get in the. I know you're trying to pay it off, but later on you'll get some sort of profit from that.
Of course you do, because it's your company. Oh, you're a major. Like he doesn't own all of Ineos, but he's a major stakeholder. I think
stakeholder.
I think he's the biggest out of all of them. But
let me ask this question.
He's got the main figures.
Let me ask this question. Who was that guy that was doing a load of media prop at the start?
Who?
This guy, he went on YouTube. He was in the stadium.
The Knights. Suge Knights.
Michael Knight then.
Michael Knight.
Right.
Did Michael Knight not go on camera and talk about Glazers and all of this and then beg Jim Ratcliffe to come help him?
Well, I need to find that video, man.
Do you remember? Yo, I remember certain things, I'm dyslexic, but I have good memory.
I forgot
Did
about that.
Michael Knight not start this Glazer out prop and aggravate the Glazer out protest and then he begged for a consortium and he begged Jim Ratcliffe. Yo, where's that guy? We've been scammed.
Well, he wanted to build a consortium with Sir Jim, Lord O'Neill, didn't he? There was a couple of them when they had the Red Knights, didn't they?
Yeah.
And funnily enough, for people that didn't know anyway, Sheikh Yassim 10 years ago, he was offered to be part of that consortium group when he was a lot younger and he didn't have a lot of the finances that he had in place. And nobody in Qatar really knew who he was. But the funny thing is, for people who say that he's a ghost or he's a myth that's just been made up, like photoshopping pictures or whatever, like, if you want to know if he's real or not, you have one of the legendary midfielders to ever play the game in Xavi in a Barcelona press conference. Oh, I know who Sheikh Yassim is. I've seen him many times when I worked in Qatar. He held my finances at QIB Investment Bank. So I know who he is. He's the chairman of it. I met him loads of times. He's my financial advisor. So if people want to say that he's not real or whatever, like, the proof's in the pudding at the end of the day. But when you have, like we've all agreed upon and said, when you have billions of pounds, it's not like you go into a candy shop and you're buying the best sweet, or you go into a toy shop, or my daughter wants a new toy or whatever. Like, you're gonna want a better price for yourself, and it, like we said, now it is now or never in this sort of scenario. But the funny thing is, you're hearing one thing from the articles in Qatar, you then hear another thing from here. Like, it's obvious that the British media is going to back their boy.
Yep,
you're going to back your own boy. Listen, if it was any of us, like, if you've got a British passport, mate, they're going to back you. Like, you're a Brit. It's in your blood. Whether you live in Monaco, tax-free, whatever, like, you're still a Brit at the end of the day. They're going to back you. Just like the Qataris are going to back their boy. So at the end of the day, there's no case or argument to answer. But this is the thing that, and a lot of people have been correct upon anyway. With the Rain Group, they're advisors, and as I've said anyway, if Joel and Avram made their mind up to sell, the Rain Group would advise them, you have to sell to Sheikh Yassim, because he's the only one who can propose to buy it all for a good fee. Yep. If you want to stay, Joel and Avi, then Sir Jim's your guy, which is obviously what they've looked at and said, that's what we want. But they've always, and like Faz has alluded to many times during this stream, the back door is open. The back alley, mate, it's still open. You can still meet us in the back alley and drop us a couple more briefcases. If you want Manchester United as badly as you say that you do. So, Sir Jim, in this case, he is, if you like, the stooge, because he's being propped up as if he's the bidder. If Qatar drop a couple more bags, he'll be off that ballot sheet and he won't be able to do anything about it.
Well, how much more money do they want, man? Like, they bought the club for what, 300 mil? Was it 300 mil, Tom?
For what, sir?
How much did the Glazers initially buy the United for? 300 mil?
I think they bought it. Well, they bought in a leverage buyout for around £700 million. But it weren't their own money, obviously. But since they've owned the club for the 18 years that they have, they've only ever put £200 million of their own money in. So they're going to make, like you said, if you like, they came in millionaires and they're walking out the back door billionaires.
It's billionaires, exactly. Yeah.
But they didn't use their own money. So they weren't even billionaires when they started. Millionaires when they started.
Biggest scam of football history, man.
This is what I mean. Any one of us, mate, you can go to a bank and apply for millions of pounds. If they're willing to bankroll you, and when you make something worth billions, mate, you just pay off the loan that you paid.
That's it.
But they paid it off while they've been owning Man United, so they don't have to pay it back.
Facts.
So, and the thing with that they've done, whatever money that they get from the sale, whether it's partial to Sir Jim, full to Sheikh Yassim or whatever, it's tax-free because the Man United offices are registered in the Cayman Islands. Tax-free cash. Tax-free from the British economy, and the American tax system.
And you have the top reds crying about morality, man.
Morality. You can say for what it is. You can bash human rights at Qatar and Sheikh Yassim, but
one guy told me. I uploaded a video on Twitter today about no to Jim Ratcliffe, and one guy told me you're wearing a fake replica kit that's made by slave labor. I said, my guy, you're wearing shorts from Primark. Where do you think them are made? Are you fucking stupid or what? Where do you think them are fucking... Oh my goodness, man. You see, this is the type of people we're dealing with, Saeed.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. This is the type of situation that, and this is the double standards, isn't it? You feel me? And I'm just worried about, Jim Ratcliffe coming in, man. I just want to compete. Yeah. This is what I want to do. I want us to compete, man. Jim Ratcliffe, we're not competing, man. I spoke to the Nice guy. You guys seen the interview, guys?
Yeah, I see it.
He's surprised. He said he's surprised he's going in for the bid. He thinks that he's not going to be able to compete. He's not. He knows the financial power. He can't be able to compete.
The way the club is now, if Manchester United was a stable business and it was competing as it is, and you didn't have the debt and you didn't have certain things, do you know something? So Jim Ratcliffe wouldn't actually be a bad owner in that regard because you don't have debt, so that's not going to tie Man United down. You also just comply with FFP, which Man United generates the most in the Premier League anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why Man United don't need to negotiate, commercial deals with the Premier League or for TV rights. They don't need to do it. They make more money than the Premier League do. That just says it all, really. So if Man United was stable and Sir Jim was happy to just put in, as he is at Nice, chuck £100 million with 100 million of what Man United make per annual year, you have £200 million to spend every summer window, which in a lot of Man United fans' eyes, they will say that, well, that's fine. You're still complying with FFP, but you still always have the money available every single window to make investment. And stadium and stuff, everybody borrows to build a new stadium. Daniel Levy's just recently done it anyway with the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to do it, and they have £1 billion loan to pay off. Todd Bowley and Bedard Bali are going to have to do it with Chelsea if they want to rebuild Stamford Bridge. Even if Sheikh Yassin came in, I wouldn't be shocked if he used a loan to buy it.
Yeah.
but from his own bank, or like you have a remortgage payment or whatever. It's like when you remortgage your house, but then you just have the interest payments that you had on top. But
Yeah.
it's coming down to it anyway. The money side of the argument for Sheikh Yassin, we know he has the money after purchase to do whatever with. So Jim, he's only buying half, and if you're buying half, really, do you have the money afterwards?
No, that's what I'm saying. His money's
You're
gonna
going
be
to move
broke,
more money about, like, what's going on?
bro. He's gonna be broke, man. I know, Faz. You just have to don't worry, man. I'm gonna get Aden. Is it called Anaday Studio? Big up to Anaday Studios. Big Jim scamming all of you. Super chat from him over there. Rafa says we love the Glazers. We are forever grateful for them. And he carries on to say here, we love you Glazers. We do. We love you Glazers. We love you, Jim. Avron. We love you. Yeah, listen, big up to you, man. Listen, you said you super chat.
Rivals, man, rivals.
They rattled, man. They rattled. They know
Let's
it. They
not
know.
forget, yeah. I saw big up Turkish. Love to Turkish, yeah. But I think I saw Turkish in the chat before.
Of course, man.
Let's not forget, yeah.
Turkish
was bopping his head like this, yeah, to we want crunk it out. I say we want crunk it out. Let's not forget.
Facts.
These
100%.
rivals. These men are doing FSG, KFC, all of this shit.
FSG, KFC. Oh, yeah, funny. What's the FSG, KFC, you know? That's hilarious, man. Big up to Carpet Steve. Big up to what a name. If it means that Sheikh Jassim has take all profits from the club and not spend for a few years, I don't care. Just put in the 6 billion. Is that what you're thinking right now? Just because then at least you know you're in a good place, though, innit? At least that's when you know, like, you know what? At least we're sorted training ground and all this and that, and you know, like at least we're sorted, innit? Like for the future. Like no money's not gonna be there. Like money's gonna be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even the fact that they're taking into consideration fixing the grounds, investing into the other parts of the game and stuff is so promising. It's almost too good to be true, you know. But listen, man, then all we can hope is for the Qataris to come through, man, because just Sir Jim talk is very worrying. I don't know what his aim is. I don't know what his end goal is. I just don't understand what he wants, what he's going to gain out of this thing. So hopefully, let's just hope this is typical United spin. They're just trying to squeeze any extra money they can get. And yeah, man, listen, Hassim just needs to do what he's got to do, man. If you really want this club, just put it down. But at the end of the day, like we said, they're not stupid as well. So they know the game too, you know. So we're just gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see what this is all about. Only time will tell.
Yeah, there's another tweet I think could come out now as well. Just gonna see that before we kind of wrap up soon. No, what does it say here? Something about Swiss group. Known to have seriously undermined the Qatar bid is the collapse of the Credit Suisse in March, which is understood to have cost Qatar's investment authority billions as the second biggest shareholders and not helped the case of Sheikh Jassim, the bid leader, which had close links with the failed Swiss bank. I mean, is anything to kind of, you know, is that just another story there, or is it? Do you think? What would you say to that, Tom?
So we're saying because he was a board member 6 years ago of Credit Suisse that suddenly got something to do with his bid.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, what does this have any relevance to Manchester United's bid when he is a chairman of his own bank that he could just use to bankroll if he wanted? Like, what sort? Like, this is what I mean, where they take one thing and try and impose it as an argument or as an excuse. What excuse is that? Credit Suisse, failed in March and it has something to do with Man United. He's not using loans from Credit Suisse. He's not a board member there anymore. He's the chairman of his own bank. And you were seriously telling me if you're the chairman of your own bank, you're not going to use your own money from your own bank? Come on, behave, will you? Like, it's ridiculous. People can say it's the QIA, QIB, QSI, whatever you want to use. There's all these anagrams of what people want to call different groups within Qatar and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you own your own bank, you have access to funds to buy something. Like, you see, he's not short of a few quid, let's be honest. He's probably got more money than Sir Jim Ratcliffe has in his hand at this moment in time to buy anything if he wanted to. But this is the same point. You can say what you want about the financial implications for Sheikh Yassin's bid. Last time I knew, Bank of America was advising him, not Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse are out of business, aren't they? So what have they got to do with him? I think he chucked them off before they fell off the cliff. He's a good, he's well educated in terms of the financial world. I think he'd have known if Credit Suisse were going to go under. But he's used Bank of America, which is probably, if not the biggest bank in America, one of the biggest, to advise him. He's not using them to fund him. Just advise me. Tell me what to bid. Tell me what's, reliable within my source of funds. Tell me what's right, essentially. But Sir Jim, in this case, I need loans, I need bonds, I need to borrow, I need to finance, I need Goldman Sachs, I need JP Morgan, I need the Glazers to even stay in at this point in time to if you like, if I need a backup card, like Joe Lavey, can you roll me £100 million or something? Like I'm a bit skint at the moment in time. Like it's just laughable. But I don't understand why the Sir Jim offer it. I don't understand why the siblings would agree to it. Because yes, you're going to be paid in the region of about £3 billion for 4 of you, but it doesn't make sense. You're keeping Joel and Avram in with Sir Jim, of whom Sir Jim could build a new stadium, he could invest in the team, Man United could win a league title or something like. He could make Man United a success, and then they get more money out of it if they want to sell. But like Faz said earlier, and Rhino was reiterated about it, the clause that would be instigated for them to be bought out in 3 years, one of the groups has to instigate it, and then the other has to agree. Which, what is the point in the clause? You might as well, there's no point in triggering a clause. You might as well just fucking ring them up and say, look, I want to buy you out now. Now's the time. I've got the money. Let me buy you out. What is the point? There isn't much point in this. But if we're saying that Sir Jim don't have the money to do anything after Man United, well, here's the different point in case. If you don't have the money, you're basically in the same situation you're in now. The Glazers have come to the point where they don't have the money to invest in Manchester United without taking money out of their own pockets. And Sir Jim ain't exactly using his own bank wallet to buy Man United, is he?
Yeah,
so
it's true.
The point that I'm getting at now here is, who's to say Sir Jim's not going to look for an investor to come in with him now? Oh, Elliott Management, like I'll ring up David Singer from Elliott Management. Can you finance me to build a new stadium or something? I'll give you 20% of the revenues or something like that. Like there's no void in doing so. But
yeah, it's facts. Jassim is AI generated. Bro, I'm telling you, we need an interview, man. I'm just gonna play this video. I'm gonna play the first 2 minutes. Let's see what Gary Neville. I've not seen this video before.
Gary, I actually have a question regarding the ownership. Currently, obviously, American owners, a lot of Brits have been critical of. I know you have as well. But then also on the other side, there's also the chance that it might be owned potentially by a state. Is there a preference? Is there something that you look forward to when it comes to the new ownership? Is there something you could hope for?
No, I mean, where I've been critical, I think, in relation to sort of what would be, I suppose, US investment is where private equity is involved. And I don't believe people. Look, I'm a businessman and I'm a capitalist. I'm not a socialist. So I'm not sat here saying that everybody should spread their money around and everybody should get the same amount of money. But I don't believe that your intention when you buy a football club should be for financial purposes. It should be for sporting objectives and to improve the richness of that asset in respect of the fan experience, the infrastructure. And what I've seen in the last few years is I think that there's been quite a lot of expectation from US-based funds that when they come in, they're expecting a return on their investment and they make decisions based on that. And that's been I think there are some good US owners in the Premier League. The owners at Crystal Palace with Steve Parish are very, very successful. They're individuals. They put their own money in. They're really sort of, if you like, embedded in the club and the culture. And it works that way. I think when it's someone else's money and you're spending money from a fund and it's money that no one knows where it's coming from, I don't like that as much. So what I like is generally is an ownership that embeds itself, and it's the same it'll be the same in the US as well with regards to sports ownership.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it anyway. But listen, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I genuinely
Uh,
don't know, man. We just have to see what's
yeah.
going on.
We can after the Wolves game, well, tomorrow, we'll see what comes out. As the days develop, we're gonna see, man. We'll see what the ploy really is, man. And then all this next Friday, next week, oh man, we'll see. It's just a waiting game, Saeed, man. And Tom, it's a waiting
Yeah,
game, man.
absolutely.
Waiting
Tom,
game,
give us what will happen. The schedule now, from now till let's say the next few days, Monday at least.
Probably hear nothing if I'm being honest with you, because Man United are playing. If Man United lose to Wolves, mate, PR's in overdrive. You know.
Oh my days, that would be crazy. You're hearing about links to this, links to
You're
that.
sitting there on Sunday with, I don't know, with your sausage sarnie or something like that, cup of tea, couple of biscuits or whatever. Go for a nice Sunday roast, mate. All you're going to be hearing, your phone's going to be blowing up on Twitter, mate. That's all you're going to be hearing. But no, if I had to probably assess it by next week, I would presume they will announce publicly who a preferred bidder is. And from my understanding anyway, as it stands now, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's name will be announced. So if the Qataris want to change that, you need to up more money. If you don't up more money, Sir Jim's staying on the proposal sheet and on the ballot sheet. If you up more money, well, they'll kick him off. And if they kick him off and the Qataris then get the seat, then Sir Jim, he don't have the money to come back in. So that's when I would sit here for definite and say Qatar will be preferred bidders, and that's what it's going to stay as. Sir Jim don't have the money to muscle the Qataris out. He don't. That's why he's had to strategize and go for a proposal over a bigger bid, because he doesn't have the capacity to do it. So timescale, preferred bidder probably by next week is what I would say anyway.
Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see. I'm going to get a couple of your comments in before we wrap up. I want the Qatar to take over 100%. I don't want Radcliffe, man. Maybe he wants a big club to show what he's about. Nice isn't a big club and can't compete with PSG in France. Boycott the Rats says abnormal. People should have no to gym banners. Well, I don't know, man. This is the thing as well. If I bring a no to gym banner, I'm going to get absolutely slaughtered. But then it's okay for Top Reds or whoever's brought that in to say no to Qatar. You know, I'm going to see what the feeling is like. I might even just do a social experiment tomorrow. But I don't know if it'll be allowed in. But I will see. We'll see. If anyone has one, let me know. And I'll put it in, man. You know what I'm saying to you. But listen, people, we're going to wrap it up here. It's been a pleasure. Please like the video. I don't know how many likes we're on, people, man. Please hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the chat if you want. You know what? Just spam rat emojis, man. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Big up to Ali A, but to be fair, he's a Liverpool fan. But we're currently on 332 likes. Let's get it up to 500 likes before we wrap up, people. Big up to Rhino for coming on, bro. Love for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Come on. I'm gonna be streaming later on, man. Rhino, MGTV, Maximum Global. Gonna be talking some predictions for the weekend and stuff. But big up Saeed, big up Tom, man. Love for always having me, man. Come on.
Always, man. Tom, it's been a pleasure, man. I'll see you soon, innit? Whenever it happens, mate, we'll see you there, man. See you there.
Yeah, see you there, man. See you there.
There you go, people, man. Big up to everyone, man. Big up to everybody who's locked in. Like I said, tomorrow match day. Hey, listen, match day, innit? We got a small matter of Wolves at home. We're out, people. Take it easy.